Okay, so connecting with the previous lecture, the topic of this lecture is the procedure for testing hypothesis about difference between mean. So in my previous lecture, we only considered one single sample size. So we only deal with one type of data. Now, how we will use the hypothesis testing application when we have two type of data. For example, we want to check the resemblance, we want to check the specific attributes between two type of data, we want to compare two type of mean. For example, we want to compare two type of categories of students, we want to conduct a hypothesis testing for two type of data. So for this purpose, we will not be able to use the hypothesis testing for a single mean, but we will conduct a hypothesis about difference between mean. So in this lecture, I'm just going to a little bit talk about that how you will conduct a hypothesis testing, how you will check that is your test is accepted or your test is rejected, because you will collect sample data from two type of observation, from two type of data, and then on the basis of that you will decide to accept or reject. So the procedure of the procedure for testing hypothesis about difference between is more similar to the previous one, because the first case will be the population standard deviation are known. So this is just the first case. So population standard deviation will be known, and the rest you will calculate from the sample data. So in the null and alternative hypothesis, as this is the first step in the hypothesis testing, so it will be a little bit changed, but you not need to be confused. You say in the null hypothesis that the two mean are same, so you can write this mu1 is equal to mu2, or you can also write this mu1 minus mu2 is equal to 0. Is equal to 0 mean when this mu2 come on this side, it will be equal to mu1 is equal to mu2. So this D not represent basically the difference. This is difference, okay? So this is the difference. We will consider that the difference is equal to 0. Or if they give you some specific difference between these two, then you will put that value at this place. So you need to understand that this is equal to 0. Equal to 0 mean that the mean of the first sample data and the mean of the second is same. What will be the alternative? So the opposite of this is equal to not equal to. So when it is not equal to, we are not sure that it is less than this difference or it is greater than this difference. Which one is the more one? So we will just write unequal sign, and this will represent two-tailed test. So you also know what is a two-tailed test. This is our two-tailed test. We will divide the error, we will divide the rejected region in two parts. This is our accepted region, this is our rejected region, and this is also our rejected region, and this is the mean is equal to 0, and this is our Z standard normal distribution. So this is the two-tailed test. For if the condition is that the difference between mu1 minus mu2, so you can, if this is equal to 0, so it will be mu1 is less than or equal to mu2. If this is equal to 0, let's suppose mu1 minus mu2 is less than or equal to 0. So when it's come on this side, it will be mu2. So what will be the opposite of this one? Mu1 minus mu2. So the opposite of this sign is greater than, and when it is greater than, so this is a left-tailed test. And how you will conduct a left-tailed test? This is the left-tailed test. This will be our rejected region, and this will be our accepted region. Similarly, if the null hypothesis that the difference mu1 minus mu2, so mu1 minus mu2 is equal to greater than equal to 0. So you can also write this mu1 is greater than or equal to mu2. And the opposite of alternative will be less than. So the opposite of this sign is less than, and this will basically will be a left-tailed test. So if you sketch it, this will be the left-tailed test. This part will be the rejected region. So we will use the p-value in order to check that is the null hypothesis accepted or the alternative hypothesis accepted. So this is the first step. The second step is the same as just like we already discussed, level of significance. So normally we choose level of significance is 5%. The test statistic is a little bit different, because first time we use x bar minus mu standard deviation by n, because at that time we have only one type of data, we have only one sample, we have only that standard deviation for that data, okay, and we have only one mean and we have only one mean of sample size. So now because we dealing two type of data, so test statistic will be x1 bar minus x2 bar. So this is the mean of first sample data, this is our second mean of the second type of data, and this is basically the difference divided by the standard deviation of the first type of data square divided by n1 plus the variance are the standard deviation square divided by N2, because we have two type of data. One sample size is this and the other sample size denoted with N2. Then the fourth step will be the calculate. We will feed all these values in this. We will calculate the Z value. Okay, so when you calculate the Z value, then the third section will be the critical region. So this is the critical region. So if it is a two-tailed test, so as I already tell you that for Z distribution, the two-tailed test will be look like this one. This will be the accepted region. This is our rejected region. So basically you will divide the alpha value in two parts. One part will be on the upper side and the one part will be on the lower side, because we are not sure that the exact mean, the difference between two type of data is greater than or less than. So if it is greater, then it will be lying in this portion, or it will be lying in this portion. If it is a right tail test, so right tail test will be look like this. Okay, if it is lying at the Z value, the Z calculated value lying in this region, we will reject. If it is lying in the accepted region, we will accept the null hypothesis. For left tail test, it will be look like this one. So mean the critical region is similar as just like the before. In conclusion, we will accept on the base of Z calculated value, that where is it lying, or we will decide based on the p value, that where is it lying. The p value is greater than level of significance. So if it is greater than level of significance, we will accept. If it is less than level of significance, we will reject. In order to further clarify this concept, I am just going to show you a very simple example. An examination was given to two classes of 40 and 50 students respectively. So two classes, there are two classes. In one class there are 40 students and in the other class there are 50 students. So now this is a two type of data. One N1 is 40, the other N1 is 50. In the first class, mean grade was 74. So how you will denote the sample mean? Because we are talking about the sample data. This is basically the sample which they take from a population. Okay, so x1 bar or the mean of sample 1 is 74 with standard deviation, and this is the standard deviation. Normally we denote with S, small s, and if it is a population standard deviation, then we denote with the sigma. Okay, so S1 is equal to 8. While in the second class, the mean grade was 78. The mean grade was 78. So this is our x2 bar, which is 78 with a standard deviation of. So this is our second standard. Is there a significance difference between mean grade? So what this show? Is there a significant difference? Difference showing what? That both are same. If both are same, then we will write it that mu1 is equal to mu2. Or we can write it mu1 minus mu2 is equal to 0. Or we can also write this mu1 is equal to mu2. Or you can write this mu1 minus mu2 is equal to 0. So I already write that. And the opposite will be mu1, or you can also mu1 is not equal to mu2. Or you can write that the difference is not equal to 0. When the difference is not equal to 0, it means that both these mean population mean are not equal. So basically this is the two classes data, and they took these classes from a population, from a large population. Maybe there are 1,000 students. So on the basis of these sample statistic, these sample data, we will accept that either the mean both classes have same average or both classes have different average. They are different from one another. So in the null hypothesis, we claim that both are same. Alternative, no, they are not same. Now we need to dig out. We need to find out the exact situation, that which claim is right and which claim is wrong. So this is our second step, level of significance. As I already told you, in this question they are already asking that check at 5% level of significance, so this is 0.05, and check for 0.01, this is 1% level of significance. So as I already discussed, the test statistic, because this is two type of data, so Z statistic will be x1 bar minus x2 bar. Doesn't matter if you put x2 bar minus x1 bar, if you put x1 bar minus x2 bar, doesn't matter, because this is a two-tailed test, and if it was a one-tailed test, then these things measure. Okay, these things are important. If it is greater than, x2 is greater than, in the alternative you need to put x2 minus x1. If x1 is greater than x2, then we need to put. But if the test is two-tail test, then doesn't matter if you write x2 bar minus x1 bar, or if you write x1 bar minus x2 bar. Minus this is the different d naught divided by the formulation, because the first case, as I already mentioned to you, that in the first case the population standard deviation are known. So if it is known, the formula will be same. The formula in this case, you will put the population standard deviation. Okay. If this is not the case, if the population standard deviation are unknown, so population standard deviation unknown, and if n1 and n2 is greater than 30, okay, so you can use this formulation. Z is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar minus d naught divided by s1 square. So this is now the simple s1 showing the sample standard deviation. So the sample standard deviation square by n1. So both the formulation are same. In the first case, so you need to memorize, you need to understand. Population standard deviation will be known, so the formula will be this one. If the population standard deviation are unknown, and if your sample size, because in this question our sample size, one is 40 and the other is 50, so definitely we need to use this because the population is also unknown. So that is why I am using this formula, x1 bar minus x2 bar minus d naught divided by s1 square divided by n1 plus s2 square by n1. So we have already extracted the data from the given example. So x1 is 74, x2 is 78 minus d naught. So we already clear that the difference between mu1 and mu2 is equal to 0. So we just put minus 0. So if you just write it or not, doesn't matter. Okay, divided by s1 square. So s1 square is what? Because they already give you st, standard deviation of 8. So standard deviation of 8. Now in the formula this is square. So 8 into 8 will be 64 because this is square. 8 into 8, 8 are 64 divided by n1, and your n1 is 40 plus s2 square. So what is your s2? S2 for the second type of data, the standard deviation is 7. But now this is 7 square. So 7 sevens are 49. So 49 divided by n2, and n2 is 50. So when you further simplify it, this is our calculated Z value, which is equal to minus 2.490. Now we conduct a critical region. We will construct a critical region that in order to find out the threshold, in order to find out the boundary for the accepted region and the rejected region. So at first instance, I am just going to take level of significance as 5%. Because this is a two-tailed test, so what we will do, we will divide the significance, we will divide the error in two parts, 0.05 divided by 2. So when you divide 0.05 by 2, you will get 0.025. So you can see this is 0.025. Now, because when you subtract 1 minus 0.025, so 1 minus 0.025, it will be equal to 0.975. So now you need to find out this value, that what is, because this is the area, this is this whole area. We want to find out the exact Z value from the table, that which value represent Z for this specific measurement. So we will check the table. So this is our standard normal probabilities table. You can see the Z first column showing the Z values. Okay. So now we are looking for 0.975. So where is 0.975? 0.975. This is the 0.975. And which value representing Z for this? 1.9. And this is 6 decimal place. At 2 decimal place is 6. So 1.96 value representing 0.9750. So we will write the Z value 1.96. So that is why we just write plus 1.96, and this is a symmetric because 0, 1, 2, 3 plus infinity and 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus infinity. So this area and this area are same, but only the positive and negative sign matter. So we will just write minus 1.96. So now for 5% is our statistic, our hypothesis, null hypothesis accepted or not. So this is conclusion. For 0.05, the calculated value of Z is minus 2.490. So where is minus 2.490 because this is plus 1.96. This is plus 1.96 plus 1 and this is minus 1.96. So where is the minus 2.490? It is lying at this region, and this region is which one? This is rejected region. So the calculated value of z is equal to minus 2.49 lie in the reject. So we will reject h now. So for 5% level of significance, we reject our null hypothesis. This is not true. That both mean are same. No, this is true. That both mean are not same. So the alternative hypothesis is corrected. Okay. In order to check for the 1% level of significance, we need to construct, because we now need to find the boundaries, the threshold for the accepted region and the rejected region. So for 1%, because this is a two-tailed test, we will divide this alpha by 2. Alpha by 2. So when you divide this 0.01 by 2, it will be, okay, so it will be the value, you need to find that value. So 1 minus 0.01 by 2. So for that value, you need to find the area in the standard normal. So this is equal to 0.005. 1 minus 0.005. So in the table, when you find out 1 minus 0.005, so 1 minus this 0.005, it will be 0.995. So in the table, we will now find out for this 0.995. So check the table. So 0.995, here is 0.995. So this is the value 0.995. You can see 2.5 and 2 decimal places is 7. So 2.57 Z value will be 2.57 for this area. So you can see that 2.57 value will be for the 0.995. So 2.57 minus 2.57. So where your Z calculated value lying? Minus 2.547. So minus 2.490 will be lying at this accepted region, because your rejected region starts from minus 2.57 and plus 2.57, while this value is minus 2.490, which will be lying at this place. Okay. So for this purpose, for the alpha 0.01, the calculated value of z minus 2.490 lie in the accepted region. So therefore, we will accept H0 and reject H1. So in this example, I hope that you understand that level of significance play a very, very important role, because in the first level of significance, you claim that in our production, let's suppose there are 5% error. There will be a 5% defect rate if you are producing a specific product. In this one, you improve the quality and you claim that we want to check the level of significance by using it 1%. 1% means that if you producing 100 unit, if you performing a function 100 times, there will be 1% chance that you will not perform that function according to the laws, according to the rules. So for this 1%, the Z value lie in the accepted region, while for this 5%, the Z value, the calculated value lie in the rejected region. So we reject our null hypothesis. We say that mu1 is not equal to mu2 for alpha is equal to 5%, but we say for 1% level of significance that mu1 is equal to mu2. So this is the difference, and I hope that you understand how you will handle two type of data. So in this example, we just handle two type of data. Now this is a very simple assignment. If you understand, I hope that you understand these things, because I make it very clear to you that how you will calculate the values from the Z table. So I hope you understand that. If you still have some difficulty, then we will soon discuss that in the interactive session. This is the assignment. Please go through it. This is the assignment, a random sample of size 36 from a normal population with variance. So this is basically the sample data. This is basically the sample x1. So you can write this x1 bar. This is the variance. So this is the S1 square. Normally we denote standard deviation square as the variance. So x1, sorry, this is random sample. This is random sample size. This is n1 from a normal population with variance. This x1. So this is the mean. A second sample of size. This is n2 from another normal population with variance. So this is second variance. Okay, and x2 is this test null hypothesis that mu1 is equal to mu2, and alternative hypothesis that mu1 minus mu2 is not equal to 0. Yeah, or mu1 is not equal to mu2. Now you need to check this claim and use alpha is equal to 0.05. So definitely you will use this test, x1 bar minus x2 bar minus the difference. So difference is equal to 0 in this one because they already show you, and divided by s1 square. So s1 square is this one, n1 plus s2 square and 2. So at this way, when you calculate the z value, then you will construct a critical region. Definitely your critical region will be a two-tailed test because this is already mentioned. This is your rejected region, this is your rejected region, and this is the accepted region. So for z, so z 0.05 by 2, which will be equal to 0.025, and this will be minus z alpha by 2, which will be minus 0.05. So 1 minus 0.025, it will be 0.9975. So I think it will be 1.64, and this will be minus 1.64. So if this z value lying in the, because this is 0, on this side it is positive, on this side is negative. If it is lying in this accepted region, you will accept H0. If it is lying in the rejected region, you will reject H0. Thank you so much.